Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to go ahead and get started here in just a moment. If you're joining me live, please drop where you are located at in the world. Where are you watching this from, and what is it like in your area? For us here in beautiful northern Utah, it is bridging on spring. And we haven't even had much of a winter yet. That's okay. Other than we haven't had a lot of rain, which is not a good thing. I am your host, Georgia Davis, coming to you live from scenic, beautiful northern Utah. It is beautiful outside. I am getting ready to get a garden prepared. This has been a lot of work, starting on that last night, and just feeling so much gratitude for where I am in life. Our topic today is dig deep, and it is just such an appropriate topic for what I want to share with you today based on where I am. Now, the very first thing that I want to address with you today is growth only stops when you do. I'm going to repeat that again. Growth only stops when you do. If you stop growing, if you stop pursuing things that are important to you, if you stop pursuing the acquisition of knowledge, then you are going to stop growing. You're not going to continue to progress. You're not going to have the same fulfillment in your life if you are not pushing yourself to be better and do better every single day. And that could be anywhere from something small and being aware of your emotions and how you're feeling and growing your emotional intelligence, to sharing your knowledge with others, getting out of your comfort zone and learning to find comfort in the discomfort. I talk about that a lot on my Kali training video or Kali training journal videos. And it's just so important to continue to grow and excel in your life wherever you are, and push those limits of what you thought were limits before that you couldn't cross. When you do this, something changes within you. You start to build confidence. You start to see possibilities instead of roadblocks and obstacles. And it really does help you move forward in your life. It doesn't have to be anything great or amazing or anything that anybody else recognizes. But when you push yourself and when you aim to be better than what you are right now, today, there is this change that comes over us. And as I mentioned, it builds confidence. It builds the mental and emotional strength that you need to keep enduring challenges and hardships. When you put yourself into a situation where you have to be stronger and you have to grow, things that before might have seemed really difficult and hard to overcome start to become easier to overcome because you're constantly pushing yourself to be better and improve and strengthen your skills. Now, the next thing that I want to touch on today is to get to where you've never been. You must do the things that you have never done before. I find myself in a position this year that I have never been in before. And it's pretty astounding to see where I am, and the possibilities, the opportunities that I've created for myself are just absolutely incredible. I am so grateful that I made the changes a year ago today. 1 year ago today, I decided to take a step, a leap of faith, out of a federal position and go to work in high ticket sales. 100% commission. And I made that decision knowing that it was going to require a lot of work from myself and a lot of work that I wasn't even familiar with. I didn't even know what was coming. I had no idea. And I've been thinking about my progress this morning and some opportunities and some different things that I'm working on. And I am just so, I don't even have words for it. There's no way that I would be here where I am today in my life with the opportunities that I'm looking at, working remote, earning income off of sales, and earning a better income than I've ever earned in my entire life. I have 10 times and more multiplied my highest hourly wage. And the highest hourly wage I've ever had was running a business for myself as a massage therapist. And I have 10 times and more that hourly wage. Not necessarily based off of all of the time and the training and the effort that I put into getting to where I am today, but from the sales that I've earned, or the commission that I've earned from my sales. There's no way I would have ever been able to make that income anywhere else. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this up, I'm not saying you need to get in sales necessarily. Sales is not for everybody. It can be very hard. It takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of strong mindset. It takes a lot of determination and willpower and refusal to give up. So it is not for everybody. But I tell you what, because of this choice that I made, because I made a choice to do something I wasn't sure about and just went with a gut feeling, I am in a completely different position than I've ever been in before. And I am so grateful. I had to do something that I have never done before to get to a place in my life that I have never been in before. Like, just let that soak in for a minute. What are you trying to get to? And what do you need to do to get there? What have you not done to get to where you want to be and you haven't been there? You know, we've all been to a grocery store. We know what it's like to get to the grocery store. You know, most of us probably know what it's like to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Most of us probably know what it's like to walk down the block. Those things are not new. You know how to do it. So what have you never done before that you need to do something different to get there? The road is unreasonably hard. Like, I'm just going to put that out there. To get to where you've never been, the road is unreasonably hard. And it's hard because it's different and it's new and you haven't ever done it before and you're trying to figure it out. And even with somebody guiding and coaching and mentoring you, it is still hard. What makes it easier is when you know that you're going to have to do hard work that you've never done before. That definitely makes it easier. And when you have somebody behind you saying, I know you can do this. Here's the steps. Here's the path. This is what you need to do to get there. Take these steps and I will lead you along. That is the powerful side behind doing something that you've never done before, is having that support behind you, having a support group, having a support partner, having an accountability buddy or partner. And honestly, no one is going to cheer you on unless they've already made it. Now, there may be some exceptions to this. I'll be honest. There may be some exceptions. But they're not really going to know what it's going to take for you to get there. They're not really going to have an understanding of the hard work and effort that you've put in to get to where you're trying to get and where you need to be. Like, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to comprehend the work that you have to put into yourself, not even the skills, not even, doing the thing that you need to do to get to where you've never been before. There's so much internal work facing yourself, overcoming your own, challenges or roadblocks to move from here to where you want to be. Nobody really talks about how hard that work is to do on yourself, to forgive yourself, to love yourself, to change your mindset, to be positive, to, put positive energy out there so you can get positive energy back. Like, it almost feels like lying to yourself. You know, if you ever watched the movie The Secret, it kind of talks about how you almost have this imposter syndrome. My words, not The Secret words. But it just talks about how sometimes it feels like you're lying to yourself. Oh, money just flows to me. I always get the front row parking spot. Everything always works out for me. All the lights are always green for me. I'm healthy and strong. Like, there's just so many aspects to it that sound like you have to lie to yourself. Well, you're not lying to yourself. Find something in your life where what you're saying to yourself is true. I overcome every obstacle that I come up against. Well, where are you today? You've had to overcome every obstacle that's been put in your way to get to where you are today. Money flows to me without any effort. Well, I mean, you put a lot of work into a lot of different things. If you have a job and you're getting a paycheck, do you have to write the paycheck? Do you have to generate sales to be able to get the paycheck? Meaning, if you are an employee and you work for a business, if you work for a grocery store as a checker, people are just bringing you money all day long, right? They're just bringing you money all day long. Just look at it that way. So if you're a grocery store checker and people are coming into the store to buy things, you're not marketing, you're not running the business, you're just a piece of that business that you're generating income by being there and helping and serving others. And if you can start to flip this narrative and you can start to change and reframe how you're thinking about things, then you're going to start to see these changes happen. And it's going to move more away from you feel like you're lying to yourself about affirmations and, you know, how you communicate with your energy, that things are just going to start flowing. It may not happen right away. It may not happen overnight. Sometimes it takes time for the doors to open. But if you just keep thinking, the doors that are supposed to open for me will open when the time is right. If this door is meant to open, it will at the right time. Just start thinking these things. And these are the things that I help my clients with. These are the things that I'm working with people to help them understand and better be able to navigate their communication, both with themselves and others, and be able to start attracting these things that mean something to them in their life. All right, the next part. Next thing I want to focus on, quitting isn't an option. Take quitting off the table. If you want to get to where you've never been before, and you want to keep going, you have to take quitting off the table. It is not an option. It is not something that you can consider. You have to just do the thing until you become successful at it. Now, maybe the way that you're doing it doesn't work. Maybe you need to market different, or maybe you need to communicate different, or maybe you need different staff or support. Maybe you need a different group of community to be around. But be unwilling to quit no matter what, because the road is hard and it is rough. And if you are not more determined to get to where you want to be and where you want to go, then the obstacles that face you, you will quit, and then you will say it didn't work, and you will say that it was a bad idea or whatever it was. You're going to make up an excuse for why you didn't get there. And it's only going to be an excuse. It is not necessarily going to be factual. It's just going to be an excuse. So if you can work through that and overcome your own limiting beliefs and self-talk, it's going to push you to where you want to be. And if you're daily focused on it, if you've got your goals written out, if you know where you want to be in 6 months, a year, 10 years, 5 years down the road, whatever it is, a year, 2, 3 years, you should be looking at those goals on a regular basis. Every single day, you should be looking and thinking about those goals. You should know exactly where your target is. Now, I definitely have room to improve here. I'm certainly not perfect. I've got a lot of things going on right now, and there's so much going on right now that it's all exciting. There's so much going on right now that Sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming and I have to step back and think, okay, what is the most important thing for me to do right now? What's the most important next step for me right now, today? And then I have to move forward with that information. Don't start on something if you're not willing to follow it through. Don't start on going down a path if you're not willing to be successful at it at one way or another. This does not mean you can't change your mind. It does not mean that you don't need to change processes and figure out how to make it work a different way than what you're doing right now. That is part of the process. That's part of what makes it hard, because you have to be able to look at what you're doing and being like, this isn't working. I have to do something different. You have to have that awareness in yourself and in what's coming enough to be able to recognize when a change needs to happen. And remember, this is not a sprint. This is a long game. You must be committed to be in it for the long haul and do the work it takes and requires to get there. All right, I am going to leave you here. Next week, we are going to be talking about what we learn from ultra runners. And there are a lot of really great, helpful insights into that. I will be back here next Tuesday, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for another episode, and definitely looking forward to it. I'm excited to share some really great insights with you. We are going to take 3 deep breaths, hold at the top for 5 seconds, and then I am going to go ahead and cut you loose today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths. Ready? Here we go. You're just taking these on your own. Here's the second one. And one more. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, right here.